let's talk more specifically about the type of marketing that we're doing right now. I think there's been a lot of COVID-19 marketing. Companies you forgot existed and you were on their email list, and now you're getting their emails every day about what they're doing for the crisis, right? So I want to ask you, are we done with this, or can we stop sending out COVID-19 messages? Can we move on? What should we be doing? What do people want right now?
We've stopped to the extent that we were doing in March and April when everybody started working from home and offices were closing. We were sending out at least 2 emails to our clients and prospects a week, keeping them updated, not only on our business practices, but the market and the economy. We have really cut back on that. We feel like it's time. Things have stabilized. I think when we start reopening our offices, we'll start sending more, just updating clients as to what's happening. But I mean, it's still in our commentaries that come out every month. But I think it's time that to offer new information. And just a funny story about that, we had a press release that was supposed to go out late March, and we held off on releasing it because of everything going on. And we released it about 3 weeks ago, and we've had more coverage than any press release we've released in the last 5 years. And I think it's because reporters are hungry to report on anything other than COVID-19, right? And I feel like if the industry reporters feel that way, other people are tired of it too, and they want something else to focus on. Because we all know it's still going on. We're all still at home, right? But they want something positive to focus on.
Good tip. Abby?
Yeah, I would add to that by saying absolutely. Like initially we were doing a lot of communications around our business continuity plans and how you can reach us and operational type of communications. We have absolutely shifted from that, and we've moved to some fun ideas too, like stuck at home with the kids. Here are virtual things you could be doing in your community, or here are some restaurants that are open for takeout in your neighborhood, so things that are more lifestyle oriented, have a little bit more fun to them, but we are still doing some educational things as well. So like I said, for the industries or the niches that have been very hard hit by this, I don't think that story is over. So, for our advisors that focus on that niche marketplace, we really are still talking not so much about the pandemic, but just about any kind of new progress that's made with regard to, regulatory relief or the PPP or things like that. So we are still doing some of that, but we absolutely are shifting away from, just reporting upon COVID crisis communications.
Yeah, and Robert, I would add to that and say, a point that you made early on was, there may be some marketing fundamentals, right, that we can, always go back to. And, one of the major fundamentals of marketing is, know your audience, right? So again, and I don't think it's a one size fits all approach. Different advisors will have different client sets. Abby, to your point, it may be, a personal family relationship versus a business relationship, right? And the perspective on how they're going to be thinking about and dealing with COVID will be different, right? And the beauty of where we sit today is we have, the technology and the ability to be, a bit segmented in how we message, right? And how we think about communicating. That said, I would agree. I think, if we think about the waves of emotion and kind of where we are in response to COVID-19, summer being around the corner, we are seeing, a lot of teams thinking about what's next, how to re-engage. I don't know about you, but I haven't heard, how are you adapting to the new normal in a while on a Zoom call, right? So, you begin to watch for those trends, and, you begin to see how people are reacting. But I can't stress enough that, while this is a time, and, we work with our advisors, to think about not only delivering the right information at the right time, but now more than ever, I think as marketers, we also need to listen, right? We have the ability to listen, right, to our clients. We have the ability to listen to how they're reacting, right, emotionally, right, as well as, what they're doing, with their financial plans. So I think to the extent that we can, be thoughtful and tailor our message, right, to where things are moving, what the trends and what the data is telling us, leverage technology, right, to have a degree of segmentation, right? I think, it works well for our advisors when they think about, the right message at the right time.
That's excellent. Yeah,
I
very
would
good.
say, I would say on our side, we generally try to have a Pareto of content where it's an 80-20 of 80% of the content we're producing is generally going to be relevant regardless of the climate. And then 20% is more, contemporary. And with the shift, with the COVID shift, we probably almost flipped that completely, where we were 80% on COVID and 20% on just the regular stuff. And we're gradually shifting that back. I think we're probably about maybe a 60-40 back toward our normal side. And we are researching the HEROES Act right now and what that means and what is that, what kind of content do people need on that? We're heads down on it. And if that passes, then we'll be ready. And all our partners will be trained and all that kind of stuff to make sure that they're relevant there. And, but I think we just have to, I always try to work in ratios so my team doesn't, it doesn't make them crazy. And they can expect what's to come, and we can live in sort of disciplined environments. But that's been our experience anyway.
Robert, I think a good tip is not to focus on COVID-19 anymore, but the effects of COVID-19. So if you have clients who have been furloughed or laid off, what can you do for them, or what content can you provide them when there's money in motion? They may need to move their 401k. They have other benefits to think about, just reacting to the effects of what it's caused, right? So being able to provide your advisors information to be able to give their clients during this time, knowing that for them, being furloughed may be their new normal for a long time, right? So how can we help them, or being laid off? So being their partner through it so they know that they can rely on you for more than just their investments.
That's a very good tip. Thank you. Angel?
It's all be of service, be of service, be of service. Gordon mentioned going back to fundamentals, listening to your audience. And like you just said, Christa, it's not about focusing on the pandemic. It's about what are the byproducts. And I'd say just like a quick tactical thing, pay attention to the industries that pop up over this. Pay attention to the side hustles that pop up, to the trends in homeschooling, in remote work management, in socializing via video. Like that's showing you that there's a need out there and that people are clamoring for it and they're buying. So it's just, there's so many different ways to find the spin-offs of what people need and what they want to hear about.
And I will say, I think it's very beneficial. Like the majority of our advisors, if not all of them, are advice-based businesses, right? So they lead with financial planning. And I think that really makes a difference in these times, because the conversations aren't around what is the market doing. It's how does this impact what your goals in your financial plan are, and what are the adjustments we need to make because of what's going on right now. And I think that's a very different conversation than you'll find, maybe some other advisors that are having out there.
Mm-hmm.